Luke 18, verse 3. Here's a parable about a woman seeking vengeance for a wrongdoer who victimized her and then escaped justice. But Jesus tells us when a sinner goes unpunished, he is only free from man's law. When man's law fails, God's law prevails.
Mr. Bishop, Mr. Bishop! No! Hold it! No!
Mr. Bishop, Detective Sawyer, I'm sorry about your loss, Pastor. Don't think this was a case of road rage. Sarah was found with her hands zip-tied to the steering wheel. I'm acquainted with this sort of hurt. I know the futility.
How'd you get through it?
I got healed.
How?
I'm going to tell you about an opportunity I was once given, and I'm going to offer you that same opportunity. I've got the guy, John. How'd you like 1 minute? 1 minute alone. John, I want to introduce you to the man who murdered your daughter. It's time for you to heal John. My only rule is you can't kill him. Count the moments that he stole from your Sarah. No turning back, John.
You can't find your own brother? Look harder.
This isn't you. You're scaring me.
Daddy, you okay?
Who the hell are you guys? Where's my brother?
Come on! She fought harder than you do!
Daddy's sorry about this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze, Breezeway Productions The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news. And we have with us today director, actor Michael Lombardi to talk about his film, The Retaliators. How are you, Michael?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Right on. Thanks for coming on the show. So tell our audience a little bit about The Retaliators.
Yes, so The Retaliators is a horror thriller. It's about a character named John Bishop, who's a small town, a sort of Spielbergian-esque, Dante Gremlins-y sort of small town pastor.
Okay.
And something terrible happens to him, his daughter. And it's about, I would say that the provocative question at the end of the day, what the film is really about, is if you had a minute alone with the person who killed your loved one, would you take it? And, it's revenge, it's retaliation. It's the oldest story in the book, right? It's like Shakespeare and love. It's like if a saber-toothed tiger attacked a caveman's kid, the clan goes and hunts it, right? But it's very interesting in this particular story because you have a man of the cloth who is posed with this question in this circumstance.
Okay. Where did you come up with the concept of this to helm it? So you directed it and you starred in it. Tell me a little bit more how the project ended up being created.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll tell you this. So back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I used to have a band. I had a record deal. My music manager at the time used to have me go write with these two incredible brothers, go write music. Our tastes were just aligned so well. We really hit it off writing music. Didn't speak for many years. Connected, said, "Hey, Darren, what have you been up to?" His name is Darren Geare. The Geare Brothers wrote The Retaliators. "Hey, what have you been up to?" Because my brother and I have been writing screenplays. And I said, "Send them to me." One of them was The Retaliators. I loved it. Right off the page, music screamed, it popped up to me. The wink at the 80s, as I said, Spielbergian beginning with this Tarantino-esque crazy third act, the graphic novel element, Sin City, Death Wish, these films of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then the thought of having a soundtrack that can B sort of, remember, like Lost Boys, The Crow, Judgment Night, all these awesome movies. It just popped at the page, and I'm like, oh my God, we have to make this thing. And I fell in love with the story. It's fun. It's this crazy roller coaster ride. But at the end of the day, it's a popcorn movie, but it's a slow burn, and it's story driven as well. And that's what I love. There were opportunities to act and cast some great actors. So I think it's the kind of film that you'll enjoy, and you can't take it too seriously, but you can, because there are some very interesting elements. And afterward, it's the kind of movie that you can go have a drink or dinner and talk about a little bit those aspects of morality, religion, and justice.
Yeah, so this is a horror picture, and that it did play opening night of Screamfest in October of last year. So what can horror film enthusiasts look forward to with this project? In what realm of the horror world does this fall into? Is it more gory? Is it slasher? Is it more thriller? Is it more suspense? If you can pick one of those, which one do you think is the most influential to the project?
Yeah, I think thriller / gore. I think what you're going to like about this is there's a nod to Evil Dead in this, no doubt. I think that, like I said, it's a slow burn, so it's built on story, but that third act will pay off.
Right on. Okay, so where can people go to find out more about the Retaliators? Is it going to be online? Is it distributed, or where can people go to track it down?
Yeah, so the Retaliators opens in many theaters globally, here and internationally, on September 14th. In many cities, it'll just be September 14th. In many others, it runs for a week. And in some, it doesn't open till October 5th. So you have to go to the retaliatorsmovie.com website, find out where it is closest to you. And that will happen for about 4 weeks exclusively. And then around October 21, we're coming to streaming.
Okay, very good. Well, we're based out of New York, so we'll showcase all of the screenings that are going to be here in New York. And if you could put, in closing, if you can put a fun catchphrase to this film in a single sentence, I know that I'm putting you on the spot here. What kind of sentence would it be? Like a wild, gory ride, an exciting, vengeful thriller, or something like that?
Dude, you nailed it with those. And what's funny is those were a few reviews. Like, we premiered it at Screamfest in LA and Fright Fest in London. And some of those were the great reviews we got. Yeah, it'd be one of those things like buckle your seatbelt. And the soundtrack too is really killer. It's metal rock. And what's fun about that is that music, you don't know what's around the corner, right? You don't know what's coming. And that's how the movie is, roller coaster ride. And then if I were to get a little more cerebral and get into one of the characters' head, I would say, time to heal.
Ooh, fun, mysterious, sexy, thrilling. I like it. And I hope our audience does as well. So I hope you're able to check it out. We'll showcase the trailer and upcoming screenings for the film. So thank you again for joining me, Michael Lombardi, to talk about your film, The Retaliators, coming to theaters soon.
Thank you so much, brother. Be well.